Well, after going up 3-0, the Rangers have found themselves back in a series. Um, we knew this one was probably going to go 6 or 7, but when you take a 3-0 lead, 6 or 7 should be out of the equation. But here we are. They head to a game 6 Thursday night back in Raleigh. Tonight was awful. The worst period I think we've seen this team play, and not even just the playoffs. I mean, this is one of the worst periods I think we saw this team play all year. Absolutely atrocious. And the Rangers let Carolina survive, hang around. They had a chance to close it out tonight, and unfortunately, they did not do so. So, Joe, what are your thoughts? I think I might be cutting out my internet. I don't know, maybe. But what are your thoughts?
Dude, I mean, just wow. They didn't show up today. They were literally.
My internet cutting out?
You're a little blurred, but whatever. But I mean, they kind of just said, "Hey, Igor, win us this game because we're clearly not going to fucking get any offensive pressure, no scoring chances, and then just collapse in the third period." I mean, once they give that one goal, which was brutal. I mean, how do you let Jordan Stahl go through your whole team? He's a good player, but dude, he's past his prime, and he just goes through Schneider and Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they didn't really have any chance to score today. I feel like,
No.
power play
Other
was
than
god
obviously
awful.
Trouba.
Power play was terrible.
Yeah.
Second goal, no back check from Panarin. Lazy, didn't get the stick, just kind of waved at him and tapped him. Nothing Igor could do. Third goal, Trouba gets beaten, outworked in the corner, and slot shot and beats Igor. So I can't blame him on any of those 3 goals. And this Rangers team's got to wake up now, and they got to come out with everything they have because they need to win on Thursday. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, if you
if this goes to 7, I think
you lose on Thursday, series like completely shifts to Carolina. Even though you come home for a game 7, anything can happen in the game 7, and how deflating it is to go up 3-0 and have to play game 7, have to get up for a game 7. I mean, that would just be also after another loss too. However they lose it, if they do lose it in Carolina, would be pathetic. This to me just reminded me of the Lundqvist days. I mean, as we said it off air, like it just felt a lot like, they score a goal, they get complacent, they sit back, let Igor out the dry, and they don't give him any help, and not going to score one goal and beat this team. You're just not. How many times do we see that during the Lundqvist era? And did it again tonight. Him in the power play was atrocious. They got outshot. They did have the one. Maybe they should go on the penalty kill more often because it's like the only time they score sometimes when they're on shorthanded. What they already have got 2 more shorthanded goals than Carolina's power play, which that's another thing too. Like we've got more shorthanded goals. Carolina has power play. There is no reason this series should be going to a 6th game right now, but it is.
They're gonna need an all-time performance from Igor on Thursday. And that's. I mean, how much better could he play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't really know what to say. How much better can he play?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, I've said this many times. I'm not the biggest X's and O's guy when it comes to hockey. I've never played. I know you play, so you probably know a lot more X's and O's than I am. But just as a hockey fan, as a couch GM, I guess if you want to say, or a couch coach, whatever you want to call me, because that's kind of what I am with all my sports. It's what we all are, I guess, as fans, fanalists. But what I saw tonight was just a classic score goal. They get complacent, no forecheck, no pressure, nothing. They sit back. They just hope and pray that Igor makes the saves, Igor bails them out, and that they walk out of there with a 1-0, 2-1 win, and that's it. And that's not going to work against this Carolina team. We know how relentless his forecheck is. If the Rangers aren't applying any pressure back, it's where it gets ugly. And I mean, the last 2 games, it's what we've seen from this team. It's just, in game 1, you fall down 3-1. In this game, you had a chance to Trouba goal. You had the shorthanded goal. You had a chance there to I mean, how deflating is that for Carolina to let up another shorthanded goal, another missed opportunity on the power play? You had a chance there to build on that, especially Trouba. Hasn't had a great series defensively, but makes a really nice play. 2-on-1, elects to shoot it and scores. And I mean, you can't. There's nothing after that. I mean, that was it. That was the only off.
Listen,
If it
I
wasn't
just want to say this obviously we
so
want to win the
bad, they would have got
cup.
shut out.
We want to win the cup. We want to, get to the next round, get to the finals, win. But
Never gonna do that with this.
I know at the end of the day, it's not like a big deal. I mean, because if you lose, you lose. But I mean, to go up 3-0 and lose a series will never be forgotten.
No, I mean, if they and look, we might be sitting here in 3 nights or whatever, Thursday, however many days. What is that? 3 days from now? We might be sitting in 3 days from now and talk about a win, but
especially because you won the first 7 games. I mean, then Jesus Christ.
yeah.
I thought they were going to win this game. I thought probably they were going to lose game 4. I didn't think they were going to sweep them, but
Yeah, I mean, it was lining up exactly how we wanted it to. The ideal situation for the Rangers
you get the first
was
goal
take
too.
both at home, which they did, split in Carolina, and if you were going to split in Carolina, you wanted to win game 3. So you didn't, of course, we talk about all the time. You don't set up that game 4 back on the road, right? You then come home after a loss. That's what you want in that situation where you split. And it was also, too, it wasn't like it was a back-breaking loss. We talked about this in the last episode. It should have been a loss where they easily recover from, easily move on from. They were down 3-1 in that game. Yeah, they came back, but it wasn't like they blew a 3-1 lead. It wasn't like they lost in overtime or something along those lines. They lost. Yeah, it was a brutal penalty by Lindgren. Yeah, it stinks because there was a chance they could have went back to overtime, won it, moved on, swept Carolina, all that great stuff, celebrated on their ice. But I mean, they didn't even show. They didn't even show up. They weren't even ready to play. They didn't even show up. It kind of looks like they were, I don't know, low energy, going through the motions. And that's what I'm kind of afraid with this team moving forward. These next 2 games is Carolina's playing balls to the wall. They're going all out. And I feel like we're kind of getting complacent where it's just sit back, hope Igor makes the saves, and just hope that we walk away from one of these next 2 games and win 2-1. And then we get back to playing our game against Florida, most likely, unless if they blow a 3-1 lead. But you're not getting past Florida either if you play like this. I'll tell you that.
The only hope is that, the Rangers kind of have a little bit of, I guess, in the game 4, it was a close game. They were probably not really thinking much of, okay, we played well, whatever.
Yeah.
In this game, I think they just got way too complacent. And you got to hope that it's kind of like a wake-up call where it's like, listen, guys, like, we can't blow this series. Like, we have to come out and, kind of give it all. And the thing that sucks about that is they could come out great on Thursday, but they can, lucky bounce goes Carolina's way, and that game's probably over. I mean, let's be honest, with the way the Carolina can play, if you give them a lead, they're not going to be able to. I can't see them faltering leads.
Yeah, if anybody wants to drop a comment, you can. In the comment section, we'll take some of those as well. But yeah, I mean, Carolina's going to come out, relentless again. On that crowd's going to be roaring. The play's going to be packed. They're going to realize what's at stake. A chance to go to a game 7 after being down 3-0 when the season looked lost. They're going to come out again with a heavy forecheck. Rangers are probably going to have to weather, I'd assume, another early storm. The Rangers didn't even do that tonight. A good way for the Rangers to come out tonight was relentless forecheck. Give Carolina a taste of their own medicine. Score early in the game. Get Carolina on their heels early. Play your game. The Rangers didn't even do that. They just came out slow. It was slow the entire game. You could feel this loss coming, brewing, because they didn't do enough through the first 40 minutes, and you could just feel in the third period. I didn't think it was be that bad, but I was very nervous going into that third period because they didn't play well up to that point. You could just tell that they weren't winning that game 1-0. It was going to have to, Carolina was going to score. They were going to have to win 2-1. They were going to have to, have a huge third period where they just start putting pucks in the back of the net. Start getting past Freddie Anderson, who didn't even have to really work much tonight. We've talked about, of course, goaltending wise in Carolina. I mean, I thought Freddie was solid in game 3 or game 4, but you have to work tonight. You didn't put any pressure on him. Now he's kind of got his confidence back after being benched, where it's the last thing you need. Just home ice. To play like this on home ice, it's inexcusable. And they were getting booed off the ice, rightfully so. They deserve every bit of those boos. And say whatever you want. If you're watching saying, oh, we're too negative or whatever, You're up 3-0. All you had to do was find a way to win tonight,
Listen,
and we move on. And
if
you
they
get that
came out
extra
and played a
rest.
great, if they
Yeah, if they
came out and
came out
played
and
a
lost
great
4-3
game,
in overtime, it would have been like, you know what, is what it is. But I mean, they didn't even show up. This was one of the worst games they have played in how long?
the whole year, just because of the
Yeah.
magnitude of the game. But I want to say this is that the loss that I kind of felt from the last game was, damn, we could have won that game. Damn, it sucks to lose in the playoffs, but damn, like that game could have won either way. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
This game feels like a punch to the gut, where it's like, wow, they that was horrible.
We got outworked. We got outplayed. Like
One
the
once
Carolina was the better team on the ice by a mile.
once Stahl scored, that game was over.
Yeah.
I didn't
I'd say so
from what it seemed like the Rangers weren't going to score another goal in that game.
No. Well, that's what I knew. Yeah, I agree with you. You knew that they were going to have Igor stand on his head in order to win that game. And they let the one shot right in front of in the slot. Like defenders standing there with the thumb up their butt, not doing anything.
But like I said, you got to hope that this team kind of gets that message. Like, hey, listen, you got to win, obviously, but
Let's see.
you can't go. You cannot if the Ranger. I think the biggest thing this series is going to be dictated next game, regardless of what happens in the game. If they play a tough game, losing overtime, losing a game, I'll be all right. You know what? This sucks, but I have confidence that we'll come back home and win another game. We're not going to lose two in a row at home. If they go out and get smacked again, I think they're going to lose this series. And
this just feels to me. This just feels. And we can get to this comment here first. Week 8.5, Carter 6.5, so on and so forth. Not a single one of those guys showed up at all tonight or at all. Closeout game at home and a bunch of AHL scrubs would have played better. I mean, nobody showed up tonight. The only guy that showed up or was, I
thought
was
the fourth
Igor,
line was okay. Didn't think they were bad. Yeah. I thought the third line had some chances, but obviously they never friggin' score.
Yeah, Cooley had the one chance in the third. Was that when they were down 2-1, I think? Or no, were they up 1-0 still? He had that one chance. One-on-one, he never got the shot off.
Freaking Wenberg. I mean, holy,
it was a good outlet pass, but
Wenberg needs to score some goals. Oh my god. Yeah. That's killing the Rangers. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's playing well, but I mean,
third line's been playing well, but you got to score at some point.
The line that's killing us though is the freaking Zibanejad line has gone ghost since game one.
Yeah.
Zibanejad hasn't scored since then, and then the goal that they had, I guess them two, the lovers, was on the shorthanded. So, 5-on-5 hasn't been good for the Rangers. Not even goal-wise, I just mean playing. Not to say that the Hurricanes, I didn't think they played great in the first two periods. Obviously, Igor made some very good saves, but I think they were doing a good job defending, but can only do that for so long, and especially in the third period where the other team's going to ramp up their energy and their, season's on the line, down by one goal, need a win. Some of that's maybe got to be you got to push it back, some of that defense or that defending with offense. I feel like you can't get too complacent defending, especially with what do they score with, like 18 minutes left in the game? But you can't go 20 minutes left in the game and okay, we're just going to play defense. Yeah. You also they got lazy. I mean, if you look at the first goal, I mean, Zibanejad, a terrible change, and just come on.
Yeah, they got complacent. And we've seen this team at points this year get complacent. That's why I think a lot of us trust them playing behind rather than with a lead. But
like Jordan Stahl, no way goes in by himself and goes around Schneider. I mean, that is unacceptable. I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Not fast. He's past his prime in just physical attributes. I mean, yeah, he can win faceoffs, play good defense, but I mean, come on. And then the back checking from Panarin. Panarin, I'm gonna say this right now, it's a make or break game for him. For me, I don't give a shit how many points he scored in the regular season. I mean, you know what? You can't take away with that for just in the general sense. He had 120 points and he had those 4 game-winning goals to start the playoffs, but the games that matter the most, the players you want in the game, the guys that you pay the money need to come through in elimination games.
Yeah. I mean, the core. It's the core. I mean, it's comment right here.
Listen,
and if you guys got any other comments, drop them in the comments
listen,
down below. I
obviously Fox, I think, is hurt, so maybe like obviously give him some leniency there. Igor's been great, but these next 2 games are going to come down to Panarin, Zibanejad, and Kreider.
Yep.
I'm not going to include Trocheck because I think Trocheck has proven he's played too well in the playoffs. And I think that I just, he's early into his Ranger tenure. I mean, obviously, if you're going to choose a 4th guy that you need, it's going to be him. But at the end of the day, this core for the last, 4 years, have been those 3 guys, and make or break. Panarin needs to. They need. Maybe this is really a good thing for the Rangers, where it's like, you know what, we thought we were going to breeze through the playoffs. We had a good game in Game 4, lost, and then Game 5 was a game that we're going to use to build off of. That's my only thing, where it's like maybe the only bright spot could be, okay, we're going to use this game to see, hey, listen, we know what our game is. We know we can play better than that. We can use this as a game to kind of look at it as a stepping stone where, like, okay, this is unacceptable. We got to come balls to the wall. But my only thing now is, though, it would have been better if Game 4 was like this, I think, because now the momentum's swinging to the Hurricanes, and now they're going home. So
yeah, you've had back-to-back games kind of like this now.
They need, and I could be wrong. Maybe we'll come back on Thursday and we'll be talking about a win.
If we come back on Thursday, we'll be talking about Cup again if they win.
But no, I'm talking about that game. They need a good start. They need to have a good start. They need to dominate the first period and get goals. And if they don't, the first 2 periods they need to play better in, I think. The first and the third period. I think they've had some solid second periods throughout the series, but they need to get goals. And I think it's a little early to panic. I think if they lose the next game, it's like, I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you lose the next game, it's anybody's game. Game 7s are, they're the 2 greatest words in sports, but it's a Game 7. It's anybody's game at that point.
I would
Series
listen.
is
Like
tied up.
at the end of the day, I mean, obviously you want to win the cup, but like the way if they lose the series, the way they lost would be.
I mean, if you lose
I
this,
don't know.
I'll say right now.
Call me negative. If they were going back and forth, win loss, and then happen to lose the 7th game, it's like, that's a good team. They were favored to win the Stanley Cup. I don't care how you got up 3-0, 1-goal games. If you go up 3-0, you have to win that series.
Yeah. And look, the positive side is this. If you want to look at it from a glass half full, Rangers got to win 1 game in the next 2. We said it last night or the other day.
They had to win 1 game out of the next 4, and they lost 2 in a row. So
or next 4. You got to win 1 game in the next 2 now. It's dwindling, but there's still time. And they got Game 7 in their own building. And, I mean, while Carolina beat us up pretty good tonight, not a very good road team. Tonight, they kind of showed that otherwise, but still, history tells us Carolina's not good on the road. So if it does get to a Game 7, I mean, that would suck for so many reasons because it shouldn't get there. And I also, Game 7s are great and all if you win them. But
dude, I don't want to watch
the game. I hate Game 7s.
I really, in this sense, like, okay, I get it. Like in a series, you come back, whatever, or a tight series.
Yeah.
Still don't want to watch a Game 7, but I don't want to watch a Game 7 when they're 3-0. I just.
Up 3-0. If the Rangers were down, by all means, if the Rangers were down 3-1, you want a Game 7 so badly. We wanted a Game 7 against Carolina first round or first time around in the second round 2022. Obviously Pittsburgh. But in this case, it's like you're up 3-0. You don't even want to see a Game 6. You just get me out of Game 5. And you mentioned Fox. It seems like you might be playing her. That's another underlying story about this all is, you will now look at this series. The Rangers aren't going to have that long time off like we thought they might have. The Panthers Bruins play tomorrow. There's a chance if the Panthers win tomorrow, that series is over. And then the Rangers got to play Thursday. So the fact of Fox potentially playing hurt, not playing as well, could be because of an injury. He had an opportunity to get more time off. He had an opportunity to get an entire week off at least, potentially, or 5-6 days off still. And now you're looking at where the Florida series might actually end before ours because they're taking kind of Carolina. It seems like a little bit lightly here. So that's can't happen. I mean,
my thing is that, listen, they are going to get burned if they don't. If Carolina starts getting pucks to the net when they have more of like a lanes, because you can see a lot of times the Hurricanes were kind of giving up chances to go directly. Like there was a play where Gensel had the puck in front and he passed it back to the point. There was a play where Stahl had the puck and he got back to the point. Like if Carolina starts taking those opportunities and getting one-on-one with Igor, it's going to be tough. And then, they're not really they're not testing Anderson at all. Like, let's be honest here. I mean, last game, obviously you had, you had the post, obviously that's great. Had a couple good rushes, but besides a couple shifts from Panarin's line, the only line that's sustaining any kind of a cycle is the third line, and they can't score. The only goal that they got off was off a rush. And then I guess if you want to count the other goal in the Capital Series, it was just a turnover right to Kakko. But they don't cap. I don't think they haven't scored once in this playoffs where they sustained a cycle and then scored. They got the goal off the rush. They got the goal off the turnover, and that's the only team. That's the only line that can get that cycle going. They desperately need Filipino to be playing Sunday or Thursday. They need him. That depth needs to be.
And this is a good comment by Afram.
Yeah.
Or sorry, like you just said, you have to shoot the puck more. They seem out of sync. Yeah, I mean, there was no forecheck tonight.
They got
no forecheck at all.
He's not good.
Yeah, and to that point too, both your point and in the comment as well. Look at the way Lafreniere scored in Game 3 or Game 4. It was off his back or his butt, whatever.
Get him tested.
Shoot the puck, test them. It's playoff goals are oftentimes ugly. They're ugly.
They're obviously the happy medium. Like obviously the Kings maybe shoot the puck a little too much if you can consider that, but the Rangers do not have enough shots on net. I think they said something on the TV where it's like they haven't had more than 25 shots on net since that overtime game, and that was the only game that they had like more than 25.
Yeah, they need that game didn't go to overtime though. How much would they have?
I don't know. Not a lot. Maybe like around 25, maybe. But they need to. The next game they need to establish the forecheck, and then make sure that you're getting pucks on Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, you even go back just deeper into the series.
Dude, they better win on Thursday. I cannot take a Game 7.
Look at the way Gensel's scoring. The stupid tip-ins.
Yeah,
like I don't care how the puck gets in the back of the net. If it gets back there and helps you win, that's all that matters. None of this flashy stuff. None of this, the extra passes and no. Shoot the puck. 21 shots is not enough. I mean, our forecheck is so outmanned when it comes to Carolina. Like we can't even compare. Our forecheck it's disgustingly bad. Not disgusting in a good way. When you compare it to like Carolina,
like
they're just relentless, and we aren't even.
The only line that seems to be able to break through their defensive structure is the third line, and they can't score. I mean, holy crap, Wenberg, great defensive player, but the guy's got no touch, no scoring like anything. He can't score.
Yeah, at some point you got to put. We kind of had this conversation about Laugh early in the season.
Listen, what I'm doing right now, if I'm Gallant, holy shit. If I'm Lavalette,
this is turning into a Gallant debacle.
If I'm Lavalette, I'm going to insert Heedle back in the lineup, and he's going to play third line center, and I'm going to move Wenberg back. I don't think Wenberg should play third line. I don't think he's offensively gifted enough to play that third line. I think you need a score. Yeah. If you have Cooley and Kakko grinding and cycling and forechecking, you need a score on that line. It seems like
get part of the kid line back together.
Wenberg just does all the dirty work. They're all doing the dirty work, but nobody's scoring. And I think Heedle needs to be in that third line. And I think Wenberg should come back on the fourth line. I think a Kakko, Cooley, and Heedle line would be very lethal.
Yeah, Wenberg's great. Cycling pucks, getting in and out of the zone. He's been excellent. I mean, he's snake bitten, but he's a veteran. You got to put pucks in the back of the net. I mean, he had the post, right? He had the post.
Yeah, Game 4.
Feels like the conversation we were having earlier in the year about Lafreniere before he started to go on a tear. About just like snake bitten, and also you're in the NHL, you got to score. Like there's some point where you got to finish. I'm at that point with Wenberg. It's like one thing to be snake bitten, hit the post, get unlucky. You got to score a goal, man. You got to score.
They have to win on Thursday.
Yeah, I think tonight was kind of like I know we oftentimes joke about this, or people do. like a must win or a can't lose. Tonight was like a can't lose. I guess Thursday's another can't lose, but it feels like a must win. We don't win Thursday. I know you're going back home to the Garden, game 7 at the Garden. If you would have told me at the beginning of the series, like game 7 at the Garden, it's going to happen, you'd trust this team, but I would have, I don't want to say no faith, but my level of faith going into a game 7 would probably be going into a home game 7. This would be one of the lowest faith I've ever had.
This is going to be a game.
This Ranger team, not even just this core, Rangers teams in history.
This is going to be a defining moment with this team right here. I think if they can bounce back and win that game
as well. How
he's been great all year. If they bounce back and win game 6, I think obviously not feeling great about these last 2 games, but obviously I think in the playoffs, if you end up getting you win 4 games, you win 4 games in the series. But wow, I mean, I can't imagine this team blowing this lead.
Another comment here from Afrim. Have to get pucks out of their end a lot faster. I totally agree. Agree. Something we've struggled with is clearing. I mean, how many times, especially on the road, especially in game 4, so many times, just a relentless forecheck of Carolina. They can't get out of the zone. And then you kind of set up one of those good shots potentially in the slot where they just keep shooting, can't get a rebound and can't clear it out. And maybe sometimes they clear it out and get an icing. Then you got to get another face off back in your own zone. Totally agree. They have not their own forecheck, and in defensively, they have not been able to match Carolina's forecheck.
They need, like I said, the big boys to step up in this game. They need this is it for this team, I think. I mean, obviously,
you blow a 4-0 lead or 3-0 lead. This core's never winning. If we don't win this year, when? Like when?
I don't know. And I think it's
even if we win this round and lose next round. Like when are we going to win if it's not this year?
For the most part, besides Trouba, these guys are on good contracts, and you're not really paying many people left. And what happens if Lafreniere gets like 80, 85 points next year? You're going to have to pay him. I guess for the Rangers,
they're all getting older.
For some quarter of a lucky break or whatever you want to say it is. I mean, Kakko didn't have a good year, so you're not going to really have to pay him that much. But, I mean, to go up 3-0 is just they better win. That's all I'm saying. They better win on Thursday. They're going to need a performance from Igor, I think, again. If they're going to win on Tuesday, it's going to be low scoring.
Yeah. You might make the case the rest of this series is going to be low scoring because the Rangers are going to be complacent or sit back. They're going to rely on Igor. They're going to hope that he makes the saves. He didn't tonight, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, the Rangers got to help your goalie out a little bit. You got to at least try and play defense in front of him.
They need freaking Panarin. Panarin's got to look himself in the mirror and be like, listen, I know I've done great stuff for this team, but if you don't win, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna strictly say that if you don't win the Stanley Cup, especially if you don't come through in the games we need you to come through, it doesn't freaking matter. I don't care if you got 0 points. I don't care if you got 500 points in the season. It doesn't matter. You have to. You're getting paid. You're the superstar of this team. You can't go ghost in an elimination game.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That goes for the advantage and Carter too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the entire core. I mean, it comes down to that group. And then even Igor, too, he's obviously got to be on top of his game, which we trust that. Might sound like a rhetorical, dumb question because we kind of just spent about 15 minutes talking about how our confidence is lowered in this team right now. But what's your level of confidence going into Thursday that they'll actually get it done? Let's say Hedl is in the lineup, not Rampy, not Brzezinski. Hedl's in the lineup. And they roll
like 1 to 10, like 10 being confident.
Yeah, like 10 being the highest, low 1 being the lowest.
I'd say 6. Maybe 6 being like winning the series, being like a 6, but to win that game,
I see. I don't. They're gonna win the series, and then they win in 6. I don't think they're gonna win in 7. I think the Canes have to win in 7. What am I talking about?
Listen, if they get reverse swept, freaking 3 years in a row, I will be. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, almost.
Right. No, they got reverse swept last year. They got reverse swept against the Lightning.
Didn't they win? No, last year went to 7.
No.
against the
Oh, they didn't
Devils.
get reverse swept. Oh, no, yeah, no, shit, I'm wrong. They lost 3 of the
The
last 4.
Lightning, they did. They were up 2-0, and then they've
Yeah,
lost 4
yeah,
straight.
you're right. I forgot they won Game
Yeah.
6 at the Garden. Just felt like they got reverse swept, but
Of course, they won Game 6 at the Garden. Got us all to buy in again.
oh my god, dude, can we like? I don't want to lose the series, but can we just lose the series where it's like close, bang, bang, back and forth? Not series where we're. Oh my god, 3 years in a row, up 2 games blown, up 2 games blown, up 3 games would be an
I
astronomically
mean, 3
horrible
games is an
thing.
historically bad debacle. That's like
And you'd be
Yankees,
5.
Red Sox 2004 type garbage right there.
They would be the
That's what
fifth
that
team to
is.
do it. 15 to do it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like what games where I don't like those 4 series and like how they were played and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I guess you could say, well, it was 3 1-goal games. Rangers series could be over right now in the other way. But I mean, like, I don't
Could
know.
be,
I
but
think
it's not.
that they have to play physical and they got to they have to take chances. Just shooting the puck on net, like I said, like the cross seams and the perfect goals aren't going to happen in late series like this, especially getting deeper into the series. You're gonna have to get
Yeah.
gritty good goals. You're gonna have to get goals that outwork them. And I think, yeah, obviously at the beginning of the series, you can get those, pretty goals or cross creases where teams are a little bit more fresh. But as you get grinded down and both teams start to get tired, you're gonna have to get those deflections. You're gonna have to get those goals where you outwork the guy in the corner. And they can't just lean on Igor on Thursday or they will lose. I'm just saying that he can, take them as far as maybe the third period where you can get within a goal or up a goal or something. But I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating, but at the end of the day, they were still up 3-0 in the series, and they were able to kind of give themselves some leniency. But now is a time where they got to wake up and be like, all right, we lost 2 in a row. This can't happen again, and they got to have their best game of the series on Thursday.
Yeah. Appreciate you all for the comments. If anybody would like to call in, links in the chat. We'll go for a couple more minutes. But yeah. Had up on the screen, no checks, no energy, throwing pucks like they fear the Canes. And then this is by far the worst game I've seen them play in months. Yeah, I mean, it was bad. I mean, I know it's the Hurricanes, but I mean, you can make the case this was probably the worst game maybe they played since Carolina back in January. Remember when they lost 6-1? That was brutal. This one was right up there. I mean, this one obviously stings more because it's the playoffs and it's a home playoff game. To not show up in a home playoff game is pathetic. That's a little tough to compare to a January game.
This feels horrible, man. I don't know. Just because it's such a magical season.
You don't want to know why it feels horrible is because you made the point. We've been through this before. 2 years ago against Tampa, you win the first 2, you blow it. Last year, you win the first 2, then you pretty much blow it. I mean, you go down 3-2, you win the game at the Garden, but it didn't matter. You don't even show up to Newark in Game 7. You lose 4-0, got shut out. So, it's eerily similar because we've lived through it the last 2 years. We've also lived through the side of it where we fell down 2-0, came back, won Game 7. We fell down 3-1, came back, won Game 7. So if there was a fan base that can get a read on this, can understand.
You know what I also want to say? You know what?
Like, we've seen both sides of it a lot over the last 2 years.
It's way too early. Obviously, it's 1-2 games. You can still win the series in 6. You can still win the series in 7. But dude, if I guess now you can call it. If we Lundqvist, Igor. Oh.
Yeah.
You thought maybe it'd be different with this team where you had
said at the top of the show, this was Lundqvist. This was literally Lundqvist. This is the same thing that happened during the Lundqvist era. And what's disappointing is, I was talking to someone about this the other day, is the way the Rangers have played this series up until these last 2 games. If you put Lundqvist on this team, the way they were playing during the playoffs, the first 7 games, they would have won a title with him, would have won a cup. But the unfortunate part is they never backed him up. The Rangers, throughout this entire playoffs, have been able to back Igor up. When they would let up a goal, they would fight back. They would get back into the game. For some reason, they've lost it over the last 120 minutes of hockey. And I don't know where it went. Again, it's eerily similar to Devils because you outscore them 10-2 in the first 2 games. And then a little bit different because it was the power play. Rangers aren't that heavy relying on the power play anymore like they were last year. But still, I don't care. You scored 10 games, 10 goals in 2 games.
Or I guess no, they're not 0-2 because they won the last game where I was scoring a power play goal. But in this series, the men have trouble winning games without scoring on the power play. So
When someone is shocked, their eyes are like empty. That's how they look to me. Like they're mentally not there at all. I mean, they played like it.
like I said, the only hope is
They
that
didn't show. They were so low. Even in the Garden tonight, the energy was low. Just as a whole, it didn't feel like a playoff game.
You got to hope this is a wake up call.
And that's not a knock on the crowd, by the way. Crowd had nothing to cheer about. And they deserved every bit of those boos they got.
They should have
That's a
booed
knock
them.
on the team. And you give the crowd anything to cheer about.
Should have booed them.
They did.
Unacceptable.
Did you hear the boos?
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Of course.
Should have booed them more than that. They should have booed them. They should have booed them at different parts of that game. Not even when it even was tied. To light a fire on this team, because
it's not acceptable.
You knew they were going to lose. It was just a typical Rangers loss. It is. We've seen this loss so many times in the playoffs. You could feel it. You could feel it coming.
That's a game I never want to see again. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So Thursday night, back in Carolina, back at Raleigh. I know what Game 7 would be Saturday. Ugh.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're talking about Game 7. I'm nervous very nervous.
Listen, this is a game that I do not want to watch again. I will not be posting the highlights of the game on our YouTube channel.
Throw it in the garbage.
This is a game that they need to forget. Yeah, I am not going to waste my time posting the highlights of this video on our YouTube channel to get 0 views. So
yeah, nobody's going to watch those highlights.
The other ones only got like 10, 20 views, but this one will get no views. And the other ones
have been doing better. They've been doing better.
I do not want to watch this game again. I just want to forget about it. And, hopefully these next 2 games get Heedle healthy. We need him. In Filipino, we trust.
Yeah. So this series probably starts now. What, Saturday or probably Monday next week then, if they move on.
Yeah, next series,
unless if Florida Boston goes to 7, which I doubt that.
That'll be Sunday, and then that probably won't start till like Tuesday or Wednesday then. But
yeah,
this team's not losing 4 games. That's all I'm saying. We're not losing 4 in a row.
No, I don't believe that. I still think we should be able to win this series, but it just makes matters.
I just think, again, I'm trying to stay confident or trying to stay positive. I think that Carolina's desperation levels are they were higher than us, and I think this game, we'll see what the team's made of. We'll see what happens next game, because the Rangers will be desperate and should be desperate next game. I don't think they had to be crazy desperate in the last 2 games. Now they have to be.
Yeah. Again, just goes back to coaching as well. When it comes to Lavalette, he's or Coach Peter, he's had a great season. He's really hit very little adversity other than January, but even then, a lot of teams would take that as their lowest point of the season. 500 hockey. They dominated the regular season. This is it. Like, this is kind of where reality sets in. Okay, team just played like garbage 2 straight games. If I'm this great coach. I'm this coach that we all expect to go into the playoffs, and what we saw in the regular season, I got to turn this ship around, or I'm not even going to go. I don't even want to talk about what's going to, because I still believe they're going to win the series. We got to speak good vibes. They're going to win the series. Just win it in 6, but
so you want me to pull up the betting
swept. I don't even want to talk about the future.
Let's see. I'll pull up the betting. The Hurricanes are minus 162 to win the game, and to win the series, I think the Rangers should probably still be favored. Let's see. Rangers are minus 240 now to win the series. So still favored to win the
Rangers
series.
They're still favored. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Marchand going to be back for that game, for the next game?
Who knows? I mean, they're going to lose that series. I just think that they're just a better team in every aspect. The Panthers are going to win that series, but shit. What's going on in the NBA? I didn't check that out today. The Mavericks are winning.
Knicks and Rangers.
Imagine the Knicks and the Rangers both get reverse swept.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, so I wouldn't. From a Nick angle, I wouldn't. Not I wouldn't feel sympathy, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it would suck. Go from the talking about the summer of '94 to out in
Oh my
May.
god, dude! I honestly don't know how. Obviously, I feel like we always, it takes a couple. This one would take, I think, like
Hear what
definitely
Truba
till the end
said?
of the playoffs. I would say like maybe a couple weeks after the whole season ended for me to kind of get over this, but it just feels
I
like
don't
this
know.
team can win, and when you have teams that can win that don't win, it hurts.
I don't like this comment from Truba. I'll be honest. He
What do you
said, "I
say?
don't think we were planning on winning every game in a row here throughout these playoffs."
I don't know.
That's kind of a
He needs
loser mentality.
that leadership in that room. Listen,
Yeah, like we
Lavia.
weren't planning on. Yeah, guess what else you weren't planning on? You're not even showing up for Game 5 on home ice.
Was he planning on being on the ice for like 7 of the last like 8 goals?
Ugh. I mean, he got his goal tonight. He doesn't have to worry about playing defense for
But
next
yeah,
game.
listen, like Laviette has got to make sure that this team, he's got to get into that locker room and yell at these guys. But like, listen, this is unacceptable. You guys want to be remembered for blowing a 3-goal lead? Go ahead. You want to be in history, the wrong side of history? Go ahead. In
Trocheck
the
said it's a
playoffs,
7-game series against a team.
and I'd get up and I'd be like, listen, you guys want to give us piss poor? If I'd rip them, I would be ripping the team. I wouldn't do what freaking Gallant did, and he's like, oh, I'll just let the leadership, kind of police itself. And I'd go in there and be like, I don't give a shit. Everybody, shut up.
Yep.
All captains, listen up, because I want after I'm done thing, you can reiterate this, but I want to say this. You should literally rip the team. Be like, one, you want to be a part of the wrong side of history. Do you want to blow a 3-0 lead? Be my guest. This is on you. And then the second thing I'd say is you're letting a great goalie performance go to waste. This team is
Yeah.
this team got into the playoffs fully healthy. Obviously, there could be injuries down the line, regardless of what happens. A fully healthy New York Rangers team with a hot goalie should win the Stanley Cup. Should not blow a 3-0 series. And if they do, like this is I for the rest of my life will never forget about this series.
Yeah, I would never recover unless
I
they
mean,
win
the
a
other
cup. If
series,
they
like the
win a
Lightning,
cup, I'd
I
recover.
feel like the
But
Lightning series and the Devil series, like those suck. And I think eventually, years from now, I won't really recall them that much because I don't think they, I mean, the Rangers weren't
yeah,
the better team. And
Lightning, I think actually stings. Lightning might sting the least just because they played,
it wasn't a team
15
that
games the
established
first
like
two
playoff
series.
series,
Yeah.
though, where it's like this team has gone through deep runs and they know what
Yeah,
it
it was a
takes.
new team. They were playing with kind of house money in a way. It was
Dude,
they were worn down. Like I
this
get it, we were 2 games away from the Stanley Cup, but that was a team we didn't expect anything out of that year. And to come back from down 3-1, then down 2-0, it stinks, but I still think Devils was worse because it was like it's a team that
listen, this series is going to be it's either I'm saying this right now is going to be reminded in 2 ways. One, it's going to be the biggest disaster in Rangers history. Or 2, they're going to grind this out and they're going to win this game tomorrow Thursday. Maybe they win the game on Saturday. They problem averted, but it's going to go down as either a series that will be infamous or be like one of the series that kind of like show the Rangers even when they don't have the greatest game and struggle a little will come back and will win and hopefully win the Stanley Cup. But I don't know how you go, what you do if they blow the series. I don't even want to think about it.
no, we won't have to. They'll win Thursday.
Listen, I mean, hopefully,
Some confidence.
hopefully you want to get your worst game out in game 5, right, or game 4. So I
And they got both. I
I
mean,
can't
is there such
imagine.
thing as getting your 2 worst games out in 2 games in a row?
I can't imagine they play worse in game 6 or 7. So I guess I'm trying to pull out positives. I'm trying to take anything I can out of this game to make it somewhat
Coach Peter
but
said there were a lot of issues tonight. It wasn't just the third period, so it takes some accountability. All right, let's go through some of these comments. Appreciate you all commenting. If anyone wants to call in, links in the chat.
maybe Danny gets in. I see he's in the chat.
Danny, Aaron, if you want to hop on in. Anybody want to hop in? We'll take your call. Yeah, Danny,
I want to die. This game blows.
0 offense at all. Where is the hitting effort? Yeah, not there. Not at Madison Square Garden. I don't know where, but not in New York tonight. Maybe they got a head start going back to Carolina. I don't know. Win big, win big, win big. Every guy on the team must know they will remember for the next game in many years from now. Yeah, I mean, if they blow this series, I mean, be on the wrong side of history forever. You can make the case that the Yankees blowing that 3-0 lead to the Red Sox wouldn't have never overcame that if they never won the 2009 World Series. The fact that they won a World Series since then, it's like, okay. They've also won 27, so but from a Rangers perspective, if you lose tonight, go 30 years without a cup, or not lose tonight, lose this series.
Yeah, I see what Danny's saying in the comments. Like, I kind of already mentioned that, where it was like they went ghost. I mean, yeah, they got the big goal in game 3, but Kreider and Zibanejad have gone completely ghost. And it's the same as Panarin. I mean, holy shit, you're paying this guy like $12 million. Listen, these are the most important games of the season. I'm like, yeah, he was great. He got the overtime win, and they played great in those games. But you need your boys to come through in the elimination games, whether that's fighting it off or eliminating a team. They need the team to come. You need the guys to come through in these games, and they haven't come through in any of them. Let's be honest. The freaking first series, they weren't losing that. That's not a playoff team. So okay, yeah, you got the winning goal in that game. What do you do? You know, like in those last 2 elimination games, do they have a point? Do any of those guys have points? I think maybe Zibanejad, right?
What do you mean? What are you talking? Sorry, I had zoned out. What do you say?
He maybe had an assist. I'm saying in these 2 elimination games, Kreider, Trocheck, Zibanejad, Panarin had, I think, I've combined for 1 point.
Yeah, I even think, Mika didn't he have the assist on the was it the
Yeah, the
last
assist
goal?
on the last goal.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, come on, you can't have your 4 best players offensively combined for 0 points. And the only reason why I'm not really ripping Fox is I know he's hurt. But the other guys is unacceptable.
Yeah, and that's what stings too, as we said. He could have had more time off, and only player I've seen tonight is Rempe. Yeah, Rempe probably
Rempe shouldn't play. I'm sorry. Like, no, not
you gotta
against
get
this
him
team.
back out there. I love Rempe Mania, believe me. I'm the biggest Rempe Mania supporter there is, but they gotta get heat on.
Not against this team. I mean, a fast forechecking team. No.
Yeah, this was probably Miller's worst game of the playoffs.
Yeah,
this is Miller's worst game in a while. He's been much better towards the end of this year.
I mean, I've said it like a million times. Is like, how the hell do you get blown by Jordan Staal? Horrible goal that they gave up. Horrible.
He kind of he always gets caught like that. He sometimes think that like his ability, his athletic ability, his size is just going to take over. And it never does.
Jeez, I don't know, man.
Except if we lose this series, he's sick of the team giving him no help. Yeah, this was Lundqvist. This was literally watching Lundqvist laying him out to dry. No help. God, I mean, if they lose this series, it ain't even just Igor that's going to want the heck out of here. I might want the heck out of here.
Dude, the next season's going to suck if we freaking blow this.
Yeah, because it's like the regular season's going to mean absolutely nothing.
We're going to be turning into like the Leafs on steroids.
Yeah, it does feel like the Leafs. Except at least we get past the first round.
I think the biggest factor, I'm going to say this right now, is going to be Panarin. He's getting paid the most. He's your best player. Yeah, Kreider's been there for a while. He's been good in the playoffs. He's not paid the most. Zibanejad's been good in the playoffs. Again, he's not getting paid the most. Like, if you look at every single Stanley Cup winning team, their best player was their best player. I mean, again, Vegas has a bunch of good players. I wouldn't say they have one stud, but I mean, like, Eichel, their best player, I'd say was their best player. I mean, yeah, obviously he didn't win the Conn Smythe. Like, Marchand was good, but still, they're both playing good. You go to the next year, like Makar. Again, it's awesome to have 2 best players, but Makar, I'd say he's their best player. I know McKinnon scores a lot, was their best player, and they even McKinnon, like both of them are great. Kucherov was their best player. I mean, you know what? Probably Vasilevsky was great in those 2 series, but Kucherov was their best player. They play well. You need guys who are going to be proven in elimination games. I've said this a million times right now. Elimination games. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, you can make the case out of this core. The only one of our best players in terms of like that group of guys that is consistently shows up is Igor.
But I'm talking the guys that Igor can't score goals, so that's what I'm saying. The guys that are gonna have to score. You're gonna win games by scoring goals. It doesn't matter if Igor's not gonna shut out the team every game. I mean, what? You're not. How many games you're gonna win? You can't win games 1-0 in the playoffs.
Just saying the goal scoring picks ain't looking good for us.
Yeah, I guess combining both of ours, we're 0-4, right?
Yeah, or well, if we combine both of ours, we're 0-6 because
we didn't get anybody in game 3 either, right?
But talk about the core. I got Mika next game. You got Kreider, and then I got Trocheck, and then you got Mika.
Okay.
So core better show up for multiple reasons.
You know what? Another thing is, I want to say this. I'm going to say this right now too. Right. Dude, maybe play Hedl on the first line.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great comment. Yeah, I mean, this is so true. I mean,
I'm not a big
cup winning teams. I mean, their goalies, freaking.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the Rangers are a perfect example of that. All those years with, with Lundqvist.
I've seen enough from. I've said this. Roslovic makes some nice plays, but again, like the thing that might bite them in the ass is, they got these good players at the deadlines, but none of them are finishers. Maybe you should have gone out and gone Gensel.
Yeah,
a guy that can finish, and Hedl's someone who can finish. And I think I put Hedl on the first line actually. If you want to run Roslovic out on the fourth line, or you want to run him on the third line, you can do that. But I think getting a bona fide guy that has scoring touch with speed, Hedl is Roslovic with skill that can score. So,
even too, just thinking back, talking about. I mean, Darcy Kemper won a cup.
The Rangers are 9-2 this year with Philip Hedl. Rangers are 9-2 this year in 11 games with Philip Hedl. I'm just gonna say that. If he doesn't listen, I can tell you this too. If he doesn't play in game 5, he's done or game 6, he's not playing again in the playoffs.
They need a guy like Nylander that plays better the higher the stake or Eichel. Yeah, I mean, they just disappear.
Listen, this is a legacy. I'm saying this right now. We're going to talk about this.
The core disappears. They've been doing it for years.
This is a legacy game for Panarin. You could say that's unfair to get like, oh, what about?
It's both these games. To be fair, though, it is both. I mean, it's not just game 6, game 7. Like, if they don't show up in game 6, that's bad. But if Panarin goes out there and has a 3-point night and carries the Rangers at game 7, you got to give him credit.
This is a legacy game for him. Like I said, Kreider, Zibanejad, Trocheck, obviously want them to good games, but the team is powered by Panarin.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I know Panarin wasn't good tonight, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too rough. I don't know. I don't think Kreider's been nearly.
No, he hasn't been good either. Has not been good.
I mean, the tip-ins, like for some reason, the team's just in front of the net.
He hasn't got any.
Washington, they kind of took away.
He hasn't got any. I mean, maybe he had the one.
Big reason why the power play too has struggled.
I think you can also attribute that to a little bit of Fox again being hurt, but
how many excuses? Can't make. Everybody's hurt this time of year. Everyone's banged up.
I know.
Has Zibanejad done anything in this series? Points, pass, goals. Yeah, I mean, they're good. They just like Mika was good. They're all good the first 3 games, and they disappear once it matters most.
I think that was the first game in this playoffs. He hasn't had a point.
What do you say?
I think that was the first game that he didn't get a point in.
Yeah, probably. At home.
Yeah.
I didn't think it could get much worse in game 4. I really didn't.
I didn't think game 4 was bad. I don't think it was bad at all.
I don't know. I think game 4 was pretty bad. I mean, you fall down 3-1 in the first period. That's bad.
I know, but they responded. They played well.
They did respond.
They
but
played well,
you can't put yourself into that hole into on the road. No, I mean, my bad. No, I mean, you're good. I mean, Zibanejad was bad tonight. He was good prior to that. He was bad tonight. Everyone was bad tonight.
I mean, yeah, it was a
I
team
got more
effort
shots
besides
on goal.
Igor.
You need to talk to them, Joe. You won the championship for your men's league. What does
All
it
right,
take?
listen. It takes a lot of effort, and to win championships in hockey and to win games, it takes effort. And I think worth ethic and effort win over skill. I just want to say that. You don't see the skill. That's why McDavid's team will never win the Stanley Cup because they don't have enough of a grindy team and they don't have no goaltending and no defense. But you see these teams win. They play grindy hockey and they wear you down. Dude, I can't fathom having this goaltending performance wasted.
Yeah. I mean, they're wasting Igor.
You know, though, we could, like I said, we could
finest wasting great goaltenders.
we can win on Thursday. We can, I guess, we could win on Saturday, and this doesn't matter. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they 2 games
it's
to win.
the fucking sorry. I don't care. I'm gonna curse, but it's the Rangers. They're gonna torture you.
It's New York sports. That tortures you.
Like I said, I cannot. Yeah, what he just said is that you get goaltending like this, it would just be an absolute a shame and a disaster. I don't know. I really have nothing else to say. I think we kind of hit on everything, but they better win on. They better win, and they better also have a great effort. The effort level needs to be there. If they go into Game 6 flat, they're going to lose the series. If they lose a tightly contested game, I'm going to be nervous. But Game 7 at the Garden, after coming off of a good game, I think should be still winnable. But this is the series right here, I think.
Yeah, and to your point with Carey Price, yeah, it's a good comparison because Canadians didn't do anything with him until it was second to last year, right, in the league where they made that miracle run to the finals.
Yeah, they got lucky with
COVID. Retired in 22, right? So
yeah, I don't know if he's retired, but I think he's just not playing anymore.
Or he's not playing, yeah. Or isn't he on LTIR?
Yeah, he's pretty much retired.
He's like,
yeah. It's like the same thing as like Shea Weber. I don't think Weber officially is retired.
Shea Weber.
Yeah.
Hardest shot competition. Remember
Yeah,
those days?
This is gonna be a tough couple of days, Tomorrow you kind of will be able to just to sit with it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go golfing to kind of just get my mind off of this.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Golfing. If Rangers don't turn it around, the Rangers will be joining you in that golfing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be golfing tomorrow. Hopefully, see if the tee time is available or the weather is good. But tomorrow, I just want to take my mind off it. It's gonna suck. I think Wednesday's a day of just to kind of relax.
This didn't have to happen. It's just unneeded stress. That's what it is.
I didn't think they were gonna win the series in 4 or 5 games. I mean, but
when you go up 3-0, I mean,
yeah, that's true. I mean, my thing isn't that they lost.
I can't.
Like I said, dude,
you gotta. Yeah.
Listen, my thing is not that they lost. Because the last game it sucked because it was the first loss, and I feel like losing sucks. But I thought the thing is that what sucked about that game is we could have won, and that could have ended the series. This game was a loss where it was like I said earlier, it was a kick in the gut, and they played like crap.
Yeah.
And it's just demoralizing,
Seeing an administrative role.
Seeing your team just not show up is demoralizing, and you just can't, and hopefully that doesn't linger.
I mean, I don't want to be negative, but I mean, it feels like what happened Saturday lingered. And they played better as the game went on, but it feels like that first period Saturday really kind of just took over. What's crazy is if you would have told me the Rangers would have came out of this first period tied, or not tied, 0-0, would be like, oh, they're going to win the game. Weathered an early storm from Carolina at home. Now they turn it up in the second period. They didn't even do that. They didn't even do that. How many times have we seen this team in the playoffs this year turn it on in the second, turn it on in the third, just dominate? Arguably one of the best periods they played all postseason was in the second period of that Hurricanes game. Game 3, rather. Or game 4. I keep saying game 3. Game 4. And they didn't even do that. So face-offs were better tonight. Feels like the last 2 games Carolina's kind of had the
Not
edge.
in the third period. Not in the
No,
third period.
nothing was good in the third
They got
period.
dominated.
At that point, the beer was probably warm in the third period.
The Rangers are lucky they're up 3-0 right now because I think but though, like I said, they deserve some sort of a just I'm trying to think of the word, but like a safety valve where I guess they were able to. I guess like I said, as you said before, I said before that you can play a bad game going up 3-0, but it's torture. Let's please win on Thursday. I don't care. At this point, win in overtime, win 1-0, win 10-0. I don't care. Just win the game.
I 100% agree.
Just win the game.
100% agree. Let's see. We'll take one more comment here. Yeah, you're so right. Last game they almost won. Hit the post like 7 times. Yeah. Tonight they just died. Maybe the tank was empty. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a positive. You do bring up a good point there. You got 2 days off. So you got 2 days off, 2 full days to adjust, and then, after that, hopefully not, but potentially Thursday, Friday, then Friday, and then all in on Saturday. But yeah, you got 2 days off to adjust. Tomorrow, kind of just mentally get back on track, and then Wednesday start to dial things back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would have liked to see, because the Rangers are the better team against Carolina in game 4, really for the 40 of the 60 minutes.
Yeah, like we said, I thought they were great in that game. Obviously the freaking biggest part of the game was like you said, the first period where you go down by 2 goals twice. It's hard to come back.
Yep.
Not easy coming back.
Miller play again. God, that was jeez.
What happened?
I'm on the ESPN page and I was just watching the Miller play again. That's brutal. It's about as bad as
I said you can't get beaten to the freaking net and walked around so lackadaisical, especially because of where the play was. It was just a change, and the guy was entering from the blue line. You get the slowest guy.
He's a good player, but he's a Selke finalist. He's a defensive forward. He's not a. Jeez.
You can't have freaking Stahl walk you.
It was lazy. I think Lindgren, or not Lindgren, Miller.
Truber made it, or Zibanejad, terrible change.
Yeah, I think Miller kind of expected Schneider to drive him away, and then he lost him. Like Stahl somehow got a stride on Schneider. Like, how did he get past Schneider too? Like Schneider over pursued. He overcommitted. If Schneider sat back a little bit more, he would have been I don't know. We need to do all 22.
Freaking 4 unanswered goals. Yeah, I mean, they got outshot by only 7 shots. Seemed like a lot more than that.
It was like 100. Yeah, because if you go back and watch the replay, Schneider comes up, and then Stahl just beats him, and then Miller sits there.
How can you get walked there? I mean, oh my god. I don't know.
I think that was worse than Schneider's part. That wasn't Miller's guy.
I am really not gonna. I'll probably listen to like the radio or something tomorrow, or maybe watch a couple of videos. But I want to stay far away from this game. Needs to just be forgotten and then remembered for them, but for the fans, forgotten. I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, if you want to kind of wrap this up, you can. But
yeah. We'll take one more comment. Looks like a lazy play. No effort. No effort to come back. Chester's gonna stop it. Yeah, or Chesty, I think is what he meant to say. Yeah. Yeah, it's good point. Good comment. Complacency, sit back, just expect Igor to bail him out, which did not happen there. Or did not happen. The other 3 goals they scored in that period. I mean, look who was scoring. Jordan Stahl, Evgeny Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov was in the AHL for like 2 days. The Hershey Bears. What are we doing here? This guy's scoring the game-winning goal against us on home ice. Pathetic. All right, that'll do it. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We'll be back hopefully after a win on Thursday night. Ideally, win on Thursday night. That would be fantastic. That would be a celebratory stream. But if not, either way, win, lose, whatever, triple overtime, double overtime, 5-0, all that great stuff. We'll be back. And then, yeah, need be, of course, we'll be here after each and every single game. So stay tuned. Appreciate you for coming in the chat. See you next time. And yeah, LGR, and let's turn this thing around Thursday night. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.